Morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well, and I welcome you all to today's session of Pre-Bell with William O'Neill India, dated December 13, 2022. So, before we go ahead, I would like to give a small disclaimer that any stock, any security that you might discuss in today's session should not be considered as a buy or sell recommendation, and we are just doing it for educational purpose. So, without taking much time, I'll start with Nifty 50's chart analysis for the day. If you talk about the last few sessions, and even for the last 6 to 7 sessions, Nifty probably touching near the 90,000 mark, came under some kind of selling pressure, and you can see Nifty like trailing down and coming to the 21 DMA. And the last couple of sessions, the Friday was a distribution day, like as we all know, but Nifty managed to close marginally above the 21 DMA. Yesterday also Nifty had a gap down opening of around 100 points, then managed to recover, and at the end uh, uh, managed to close flat or like marginally positive. And at the end, if you can see, it was very close to the 200 DMA. So at the moment, Nifty is finding support near the 200 DMA, probably hovering around the 200 DMA as well. And going forward, if in today's session and then the coming session, Nifty is able to successfully trade above the 21 DMA, move higher, then it will be a good sign. And probably if this can happen on higher volumes, then would be a really good sign. But that is very unlikely to happen, probably considering the December holidays. But if we talk about the official December holidays in the US and the Europe, it will be starting from next week onwards. And this week, there is lots of data considering macroeconomic data and on the inflation front in India, in US, India data released. We'll be talking about that in the coming slides. The US will be getting released. And if it talk about from the central bank action, the central bank or the major three central banks of the globe would be in action this week: the US Fed, the BOE, and your ECB. So they're likely to keep Nifty volatile before the end of the year and before the actual holiday season, end of year holiday season start in US and Europe. On the O'Neill front, if we talk about it, the D-Day count is at 2, so we are pretty comfortable on that front, and we continue to remain in confirmed uptrend. And till the point in time, probably your distribution day count remains below your 4 and 5 level, and Nifty continues to trade above the 21 DMA. We'll most likely stay in confirmed uptrend. If the distribution day count adds above 4, probably we'll go to uptrend under pressure. And if that probably adds more and even some key moving averages get breached, might go to a downtrend as well, according to the O'Neill trend. On the key news, as we was talking about your macro data, your CPI inflation in India stood at 5.88%. The key is that it is below the RBI, first time below the RBI upper band of 4 to 6%, that is 6%, after 10 months. If you talk about it, after 10 months, it came below the 6% mark, and even it was below the 6.3% estimate in terms of your market estimate for the November numbers. And overall, the CPI inflation is at an 11-month low. Even the core inflation came below this estimate of 6.2% at 6.1%. And talking about IIB data, IIB data was not that great for October at -4% against consensus estimate of -0.8. Mining growth was good at 2.5% against 4.6%. Our manufacturing growth, the major sector, was at a low at -5.6% versus 1.8% MOM. Talking about your FI and DI activities, your FI sold in Indian equities worth 139 crores, and DI, on the other hand, bought Indian equities worth rupees 696 crores. Vaqar signed a definitive agreement to acquire 100% in your Sunflame Enterprises for 660 crores. BGR Energy bagged orders worth rupees 330 crores from Indian Oil Corporation. KEC also got orders worth rupees 1349 crores across various industries. Talking about the global market update, there was late surge in the US market where your Dow went up by 1.6%, S&P by 1.4%, and Nasdaq by 1.3%. Asian markets, if you talk about it, is trading on modest gains at the moment. Shanghai is trading flat, Kospi up by 0.1 and Nikkei up by 0.4%. Talking about crude oil like after touching uh, an intra-week or intra-month low of 75, probably coming back towards the $80 mark and trading around the $79 mark. USD INR is trading around 82.66. SGX Nifty is indicating a positive opening. If we talk about it, yesterday's close around 18,497, and SGX Nifty is indicating an opening of around 641. So probably, if not 140, 150 point opening, but at least 80, 90, 100 point opening can be gap up opening can be expected in Nifty. So talking about your chart of the day, the chart of the day for us is Siemens. And before we talk about it, would like to give a small disclaimer that it's again not a buy or sell recommendation, and we are just doing it for educational purpose. So before we go about it on the technical and the O'Neill front, we'll discuss it on the business front. So if we talk about the Q3 FY22 results, there was some kind of moderation in the execution. But overall, if you look at it from the revenue perspective over the next 2 to 3 period, the overall revenue can CAGR around 16% according to consensus estimates. And talking about order intake for the company remained very strong, and even order intake stood at around 25% YOY to 40 billion, which is led by clear uptake in both your public and your private capex. And your order book stood at around 171.8 billion, and which assures sound revenues, which I was earlier talking about in terms of the 16% CAGR. And going forward as well, the government's impetus on the infrastructure spend continues to translate into strong capital expenditure in the country, followed by investments in smart and green infrastructure, electrification, decarbonization, technologies, automation, and digitization. And overall, you can see your public and private capex coming into play, which is probably helping an EPC player like your Siemens with the increased amount of order book. And similarly, with just the moderation in this quarter, going forward, if the execution continues and the order flows for the company continues, you can see good gains or good revenue recognition along with margins going forward for the company. Now, coming to the technical and the O'Neill front, you can see your fund holding improving for the stock, which is really good. On the fundamental front, the EPS strength of 89 is very good. Buyer demand of B plus is good as well. Price strength of 61 is fair, but as you can see, your RS line is trending higher, which is a really good sign. And if you can see at the right hand side of the base, you can see good accumulation. That is the stock moving higher on above average volumes, which is a really good sign. And similarly, on the last breakout as well, it was a strong breakout and a successful breakout as well. This was a stage one, and this is a stage two breakout. and similarly the stock is 3% to pivot, and you can see good accumulation already coming into the stock with the RS line moving higher, and going forward as well, if the stock breaks out in this 3% to pivot on above average volume, then it can be a good stock to watch out for going forward in this scenario. So thank you, and that's it from my side. And stay tuned to the space of Prebell with William O'Neill India tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. sharp. As you guys know, we put the after hour show temporarily on hold, and we'll be coming back very soon with an all new format uh, for our evening commentary. Thank you.